Well, greetings from Lakeland. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your class on Homiletics, the methods of biblical preaching and teaching, and you're ready to begin preaching this week. As you know, sermon number 1 is due coming up next Tuesday, and for a lot of you, this is going to be the first time you ever preach, and if so, it can be overwhelming and maybe even scarier doing it into a camera. That's okay, you're not alone. I know this is always overwhelming, although it's less strange now in the midst of this COVID-19 quarantine. More and more people are using video and Zoom and FaceTime and whatever to communicate. And so it becomes a good tool and a good way to get feedback and actually preach, which I feel is so important in a class like this. Well, as I said in the instructions, you can preach a topical sermon in which a topic drives what you talk about. You pull from a variety of texts. You can do a narraphoric sermon, that is something that is inspiring to you from Leonard Sweet's book, and also be comfortable maybe with some of the textual, narrative, if you would like, something like that. The goal is for this sermon to give you a little bit more freedom in terms of how you put it together and structure it. Sermon number 2 will need to be very specific. You need to follow the methods that you're going to see laid out for you in engaging exposition. So you've got in both of these sermons, you've got preparation documents, assignments, preparation materials. This one is not as big a deal as it will be in sermon number 2, but I would like to see enough to show me you are actually studying, you're actually researching. Any sources you cite are good, any scripture passages, any contextual study you do. I'm fine if this is handwritten on a piece of paper, you want to scan it in, that's fine. If you do something typed out. The format is not as critical with sermon number 1 as much as it is I need to know that you are processing this. How did you come up with the sermon that you developed? The other one, again, sermon number 2 will be very specific. A lot of details will be laid out for you. I even give you a special lecture to show you exactly how to walk through all that. If you have questions, we get to sermon number 2 in week 6, let me know then. But for this one, just give me something. And then your delivery materials will be the notes that you use as you present your sermon, unless you memorize it. Even if you memorize it, give me some sort of outline to follow. Some of you may have a written out word-for-word manuscript. That's fine. Others of you may have a very loose outline. That's fine too. Just what is the basis for the material that you are delivering in your sermon? Post that there in your delivery materials. Next, I want you to upload a video. And this video can be done, as I explained there. Historically, YouTube and Vimeo have been very reliable ways of doing that. More and more students are actually doing it up with Google Drive. I haven't had any no-shows yet this year, but last year, D2L Brightspace, that's the software that we use for MyFire, limited how much material students could put on video. Some tried to do direct video and it said at 3 minutes, you're cut off. So just be sure what you do will actually work. There's a billion apps out there now you may be able to use. Just be sure it uploads quickly and you find a good way to let us see you preach. You will find when you post it, and don't worry about doing it in the assignment link. If you do, that's fine, no problem. But I can also access them on your group links, on your discussion forums. This will be different. The other discussion forums, you can see everybody in the class. This one, you've been broken down into small groups. I didn't want to subject you to watching 28 peer videos. If you decide you want to, let me know. But we're going ahead and let you do a smaller group. That way everybody gets an equitable number of evaluations and comments and feedback. I'm going to do something different with your class this year in 2020 than I've done in the years before. And I've discovered an online form called Jot Form that enabled me to create an evaluation, a peer evaluation form that will automatically upload the material into a spreadsheet. Makes it way easier for me to calculate your scores from your peers and keep track of which of your peers you've evaluated. And then I can download all of those into a spreadsheet that I can send to each of you to give you all of the feedback from your peers. You know, last year we had some complaints. Some students were glad to send it to me, but they didn't send it to their peers. And the peers were like, hey, I never got the feedback from my friends. So this way I can consolidate all of it and I will send it to your peers. You will see some stuff on the built-in template that will say, no, you do that, and if you do that, it's fine, but I will be compiling everything, putting it together. So I will send you a link today and also hopefully be able to post it up on MyFire to give you the link to the Jot form. And when you go in there, each time you do it, you'll create a new form. You'll have you put in your name and your peers' names, and then you'll give feedback on 10 criteria. I will be doing more than 10 criteria. I want to keep it simple for you guys, and then 2 responses. What did you do well, and how can you improve? And then give them as much of good material there as you can. Remember, part of your grade is the feedback you give your peers. So you've got a motive to do it, even if you aren't interested in their performance, but I certainly hope you are. So hopefully you found this beneficial. It's a great experience to be able to begin to preach, and hopefully you've got some creative juices flowing, listening to Lynn, reading his book, and thinking about some different ways, or maybe a topic you've wanted to research, a theological question you've wanted to explore. If you can, give us an idea. If you've got a special group, and again, if you're going to be ministering to a group anyway, why not just go ahead and do a message for them? If you're a children's pastor, you're going to be speaking to kids, let us know that. That is a completely legitimate way to preach for this particular assignment. So great. I'm really looking forward to watching you all preach, and hopefully you're excited about doing this as well. I see we've already got a student who's finished, so some of you are highly motivated, and you can keep working that direction. If you've got any questions or problems, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You've got my email, ajehler@seu.edu. Also, feel free to call me, 425-422-9902. But God bless, and preach hard.